All right, everyone, welcome to Class 4 Summer A2 Hebrew. Such a joy to see everyone. Thank you for showing up either live or watching the recordings and being a part of this class. It has been such a fun month. Okay, I hope everyone had a fun Memorial Day weekend and Memorial Day. Anyone do something fun this yesterday or the weekend? Anything fun? No, no, I didn't anything fun. Just chilled, had a good long weekend. Good. Okay, that's awesome. I went hiking yesterday. We hiked up to a waterfall, one of our favorite ones, up Provo Canyon, Timpanogos, and it was so fun. Although we did get rained on. We had a thunderstorm that hit because in the mountains, those afternoon thunderstorms roll in, and my 9-year-old daughter was not happy about that. She did not think that was a fun adventure, but she made it through. So, okay, good to see everyone. Any questions before we get started this week as you went through the perfect suffixes that we started learning half of them? All right. We are going to be studying the rest of all the perfect suffixes. Means past tense, okay? Suffixes. Today, we're going to be looking at the plural forms. Last week, we saw all the singular, so today's going to be the plural. But before we jump in and learn new things, we're going to do a quick review of what we studied last week. So, let me see here. So this is chapter 14, part 2. Okay, so we're going to do this one together. And we're going to be parsing a lot today, okay? We're going to be practicing our parsing. Parsing just means that we're going to look at a verb and we're going to find out what the stem is, what the tense is, and the person, number, gender. Because once we understand what each of those are, we can translate the verbs correctly. And so it's really important to be able to really understand what the verb is telling us. So we're going to do this one together, and then I'll ask for a few volunteers. So if you want to unmute yourself, you can participate that way, okay? So this is the verb darash, okay? And this means to seek. And we see that this does not have any suffix there, okay? So we know that when a verb does not have a suffix in the perfect tense, it's going to be a third person masculine singular, which is he. Now let's quickly review first, second, and third person, okay, just to remind us each. So first person singular is always I. First person in the plural is always going to be we. Second person is always you. So one you, or in the plural, you all, okay? And then the third person in the singular is going to be he or she. And in the plural, third person is going to always be they. Okay? And we're going to see that today. So this is third masculine singular he. So how you would parse this is you would say call perfect 3ms or third masculine singular. And how you would translate it is he sought. Okay, hopefully you guys remember that from last week, okay? That's how we parse this word. All right, let's go to this next word. This is halakta, halakt, okay? Halakt. This is the verb halak, meaning to go or walk. And it has the suffix a tav with the little simple schwa. And I don't know if it was this class or another class, but someone said this little schwa reminds them it looks kind of like little dangly earrings. So super easy to remember because this is a feminine plural or feminine singular ending, okay? The tav with a schwa. So who would like to parse this word? And if you need a cheat sheet, okay, page 70, okay? Open to page 70 and it shows you all of the suffixes for the perfect verbs, okay? So look at that to if you need a reminder, who would like to parse this word? Halakt.
Yeah, I know.
You're
Okay,
gonna
I'll
do
do it.
it, friend? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, so I need to say it's call perfect uh, second,
Or
third,
second. you're right.
second person feminine. Is that
Singular.
singular?
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Got
Yep.
it. And then you want me to translate it?
Yep. Yep.
You walked. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You went or you walked. Exactly. So
You kind of swallowed the t on the end, like halaked.
Okay.
yeah. So the schwa, if you guys remember, schwa can either be pronounced or it can be silent. Okay. Schwas, whenever you see a schwa at the end, it is always going to be silent.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
And I never taught you guys the rules of the schwa. Okay. That Dr. Perry didn't want to go into that because it's a little complex. But you guys could totally understand it. And if you want to learn it, you can go back. I think it's chapter like 6, maybe. And look at that if you want to learn about the rules of the schwa. But there are some people that never pronounce the schwa. They will take every schwa and make it silent unless it's at the very beginning of a word. They will pronounce it then. But all the other schwas, they will just keep silent. And so if you want to just have that rule, most of the time, at 50% of the time, I don't even know what the percentage, but you would be right for a lot of it, okay? But if it's at the end of a word, you will not say the schwa. So it's halak, and this schwa is actually not pronounced either. So both of these are actually silent, which is it's kind of hard to say this word, halakt, halakt. Yeah, it's kind of different. But because both of those are silent. Okay. Did I put that up? Okay, great. So you walked. All right, let's look at this next one. This is the verb harag, and it ends with that tav with the kametz, and that looks like a little tie. Okay, to remind us that's masculine. It's like a little tie on the bottom there. So the harag means to kill or slay. Okay, this is haragta. Haragta. The schwa again is silent. There's quite often schwas are silent. Okay, haragta. Who would like to try to parse this one?
You can do it.
Jen? Awesome. Thank you.
So it's call perfect, and then it would be second person masculine singular, right? And so then it would be you slayed or you killed.
Perfect. Yep, exactly, Jen. You killed masculine. Okay, one masculine person. Okay. This one is Shamara. Now this schwa is pronounced, okay? And maybe I should go back to chapter 6 and we could learn about when schwas are pronounced and when they're not. You guys let me know if that's something you guys want to learn, and we can do that, okay? But this is shamara, okay? And this is the verb shamar, which means to keep, watch, guard, observe, okay? And it ends with a hey here. Who would like to parse this word?
I will.
Thanks, Lori.
So call perfect, it's third person feminine singular. So she kept.
Perfect. Exactly. She kept. You guys are doing fantastic. All right, let's look at this one. This is lakakti. Lakakti. Now, this is the verb lakak, meaning to take. And this ends with that T right here. Who would like to parse this one? Yes,
Fine.
Christina.
Okay. So it's call perfect. And it would be first person common singular I took.
Exactly. Well done. 100%. Yep. I took, and the first person, we're going to see first person plural today. We're going to learn that. And all the first persons are common. Okay. So there's not like a masculine and a feminine. It's just either one. So we're going to see that. So this is just I, either masculine or feminine. Okay. Let's look at this one. This is another T ending. This is yadati. Yadati. Who wants to parse this one? Michelle, how do you feel about parsing?
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Awesome.
Um, so this is a call perfect verb, first person, common singular. So it's I, but I don't know what this word
Oh,
relates
yeah.
to.
So this is yada, meaning to know. I forgot to say that.
Oh, yada. Okay.
Mhm. So this
So it'd be
is,
I knew,
yes.
or I know.
Yep. And you can do either. To yada is more of a state of verb, so it can be something like I know. If you know something, it can be, you knew it as well. Okay. So either way, I know or I knew. Okay. Great. All right. Now we're going to jump in and learn the rest of the perfect suffixes. And then once you know all these, you can translate tons and tons of Hebrew verbs now. It's so exciting. We're going to be looking at all the plural forms now. Okay. And we're going to first start with the third person common plural. Now, third person in singular is he or she. Third person in plural is they. And this one does not have a masculine and a feminine. It's common, just like we saw with the first person, okay? So third person common plural, they. And it can be a group of men, a group of women, or a group of men and women, they. All right? And that suffix is just this shuric vowel right here. The vav with the dot on the left, this is a shuric vowel, and we say ooh. This vav is not acting like a consonant, okay? It is the vowel, okay? And so it's not vu. We're not saying the v sound of the vav. We're just saying ooh. This is the vowel, okay? Shuric vowel. And it's connected right there at the end. So let's look at that with the verb katav, meaning to write. We've seen this verb a lot. So this is katavu. Katavu. And this means they wrote. Okay? They wrote. That's shuric. Okay. Now let's look at the second masculine plural and second feminine plural. We'll look at them together because they are very, very similar except for one letter. Now, something that's helpful is all the second person has a tav in it. Okay? If you remember the second masculine singular and second feminine singular, you just has that tav, and one of the tavs has the simple schwa, and the other tav has a kametz. We just saw it. The plural for second person has that tav, okay? We have a tav ending, and then the masculine ends with the final mem, the feminine ends with the final noon. So second masculine plural, you all, a group of men, is tem, and then a second feminine plural, you all, girls, okay, women, 10. Now, something easy to differentiate this is we know that the plural, the masculine plural ending on nouns, what does it end with? What's a masculine plural ending on nouns?
Like
Anyone
em,
Yes, exactly, Corinne. Eam, okay? It ends with that mem as well. So remember, we've seen that mem on other masculine words before. So maybe that could help you remember that this is the second masculine plural, okay? And then that noon is the feminine, okay? So that can be somewhat helpful, all right? When you can make connections with other things that you know, that'll help you memorize things a lot quicker. So, okay, so let's look at this. This is katav tem. And this means you all, masculine, wrote. And then we have katav ten. And that means you all, feminine, wrote. Okay? Tem and 10. All right, and then the last one to learn is the first common plural. Now we've seen the first common singular, which is I. First common plural would be we. Okay, and the we also ends with a shuric, just like the third person, okay, but also has a noon. So it's new, new. And how that's connected right here to katav is katavnu, katavnu. And that means we wrote. And this is also just a common, okay? No masculine, feminine differentiation there. Okay. This week, this is your homework to memorize these last 4 suffixes and also to keep reviewing the ones we learned last week, okay? A great place to go is the Biblical Hebrew Learning Tool and to do parsing. And we're going to do that actually, I think, right now. Yes, we are. Okay, so I'm going to open this up really fast and pull this up. Okay, does everyone see the learning tool? So when you go to the Biblical Hebrew Learning Tool, you're going to click on Parsing tab, and then it's going to bring you here. And then you're going to go to this funnel right here, okay, and click on the funnel. You're going to push the type, and you're going to push call. That's all we've learned right now. And then you're going to push the tense funnel, and you're going to do perfect, okay? And this is going to bring up 50 words, okay? And you can change how many words you see. Okay. So we're going to, I would love if everyone took a turn. Okay, now if you don't want to take a turn, you can say pass, okay? But I would love if everyone, if you feel comfortable doing it, to take a turn. So we're going to do the same thing that we were doing earlier. We're going to parse. So we're going to say call perfect. And then we're going to look at the suffix and figure out the person, number, gender. So this is the, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So this is the verb avad, and that is to be lost or perish. Okay, so we have the 3 root letters, and then we have that hey at the end. And so I'll do this one, okay? So this is call perfect, 3rd feminine singular, or you can say 3fs, meaning she, okay? And this means she perished. Okay?
Oh,
Okay.
say that one more time. Can you say it with the ending on it?
Yes, this is aveda.
Aveda, aveda. Okay.
Aveda. Now this schwa is pronounced. Okay, aveda. And the verb is aved. Okay, or avad.
Love that.
Okay, let's look at this one. This is the same root right here. Okay, avad. And Craig, would you like to parse this one?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that is so
This is one of the new ones that we just learned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is qual perfect, 3rd person, or sorry, 1st person common plural.
Yes, exactly. And then how would you translate this?
So it would be so you wrote, right?
Okay, so close. So
Oh, I'm sorry, we wrote. I'm sorry. Or
yeah, there
so
you
we
go.
lost. We lost.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we perished, we were lost.
Yeah, sorry.
Exactly.
I'm really sick, and so I'm kind of not with it 100%. So I don't have
Oh, no,
much
you're
voice.
you're
Yep,
totally
sorry.
fine. And
Thank you.
I'm so sorry you're sick. That makes it
Oh.
so hard.
No, that's okay.
I hope you get feeling better.
That's fine.
I gotta close this. My kids just ran in. Okay, exactly. Great job, Craig. We perished. And it has that new ending right here. That's one of the new ones that we learned. Okay.
Yeah. How did you get the definition to come up below?
Oh, okay. So you go to helps right here. Okay.
Oh,
And it shows you can just do the root.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. And it also can show an explanation. Okay. It talks about the noon vav suffix. And then the definition is right there.
Perfect. Okay. Thank
Which
you.
is really great. And then you can check your answer right here. Of course, you're going to be, putting it in right here. I'm not doing that right now because that would take too much time. Okay. And then you can check your answer. Okay. And this is what I'd love for you guys to spend some time on this week, because this is the best way to memorize these suffixes. All right. Here's avad again. I don't know why it's showing us the same exact verb all the time, but that's what it is. Okay. So Lori, would you be able to parse this verb? This has that tav with that simple schwa as a suffix.
Yes. So it would be call perfect. 2nd person feminine singular. which would be you perished or you were lost.
Yes, perfect. Exactly. Call perfect, second feminine singular. Okay. Now this one is the verb ava, and now we haven't this is actually a weak verb. If you guys remember, there are strong verbs and weak verbs, and we kind of talked about that last week. We're only learning strong verbs right now, okay? So to remind you, every Hebrew verb has 3 root letters. Do you remember that? Nouns can have more and less, but verbs always have 3 root letters. And strong verbs will always have all those 3 letters present. Okay, nothing's going to happen to them. But weak verbs, they either, one of the consonants either drops off or it changes to something else. Things like that, okay? We saw the preposition mean, remember? And it ends with the noon. A noon is a weak consonant and it will often drop off, okay? So that's an example of like a weak consonant. So if there's a verb that has a final noon, like the noon is the last letter, it will drop off, okay? And that's a weak verb. So, but we haven't really looked at all of those different types yet. But this is one of those, okay? This root is ava. Okay, to be willing, and it ends with a hey. Do you see that? Ends with a hey. A hey is one of those weak letters that will often drop off or it will change to something. And heys do one of 3 things. Either they'll drop off completely, they'll change to a yod, or they'll change to a tav. Okay, those are the 3 things that heys do. And so the hey, as you see, has turned to a yod in this verb. Okay, and that's what's going on. This is an example of a weak verb, and we'll have a whole like chapter on those. Okay, so this is ava, and then we're going to have the suffix. We see this is one of the new ones that we have learned today. This is 10. So, Christina, would you like to parse this one?
Yes. So it is call perfect, second person feminine plural. And I would pronounce it aviten.
Yes, yes, Avi10. I didn't even say it, so well done. Yeah, Avi10. Second feminine plural. How would you translate this?
Second feminine plural would be you you were willing?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, you were
Will?
willing. Yeah, great job. Okay. Okay, this is aval, meaning to mourn. You know what? Well, actually, that's fine. We'll do this one again. Okay, this is aval, to mourn, and we see that has that hey suffix. So, Corinne, you want to take this one?
Sure, that's call perfect, third person, feminine, single. She mourned.
Perfect. Yep, exactly. Well done. Okay, achal, this means to eat. Michelle, would you be able to parse this one? This does not have any suffix.
Yeah, so this one would be call perfect, third person, masculine singular. So it's he ate.
Yep, exactly. Well done. Well done. And then let's do this one, Jen. This is one of the new ones that we've learned today. This is amar, to say, and it ends with that shurik.
So it would be call perfect, third person common plural,
Yes,
right? Then it would be they said.
exactly. Well done. Good job, everybody. Okay, we might come back and do more of this depending on how much time we have today, okay? But let's go back to the slides really quick. Okay, now we're going to translate. Does everyone see the screen? Okay. We're going to translate a few sentences with some of these new suffixes that we just learned. Okay. And so we're going to start and if there's somebody that would like to read a word or a sentence, just put up that little raising hand emoji so I can call on you. Now, if you don't want to read by yourself, that's totally fine. There's absolutely zero pressure. We will read as a group. You'll repeat after me. Okay. So we'll do this one together and you think about if you want to read a word or two. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ha-melakim.
Melachim.
Okay, and then asher,
Asher.
malaku,
Malaku.
be'eretz.
Eretz.
Yes.
Okay, great job. Let's translate. We have ha,
Uh,
and then this is melakim. What's this?
Kings.
Kings.
Kings, exactly. And here's that masculine plural ending ends with that mem. Okay, masculine plural. Kings, the kings, asher,
Which or that.
who or that. Okay, and then here's our first verb. Okay, with the subject. This is malak. Okay, malaku. Okay, malak, which has the same root as this noun, melek, king. Okay, but this is in the verb form. This means to be king, to reign, to rule. It's the verb. Okay, malak. It has the same exact consonants there. Okay, we know this is a verb because it has the suffix. Okay, you won't see these perfect suffixes on nouns. They're only going to show up on verbs. So if you ever get confused and you're like, isn't this king? What is this doing here? No, this is going to be the verb to be king, to reign, to rule. Okay. All right. So let's parse this. This is one of the new ones that we learned. How would we translate this? If this means to reign or rule.
They reigned.
Exactly. They. This is a third common plural. They. They reigned. We're talking about the kings. The kings are the they. Okay. The kings who ruled. Okay. They ruled. Okay. And then we have be'eretz. How would we translate this? This is that inseparable preposition.
In the land.
Okay. In the land or in a land?
Or in
A land. A land.
Yeah, in a land. We see that there's a simple schwa right there. If it was in the land, what vowel would we probably see underneath that?
Talk.
Yeah, we would have a patak and then a dagesh right there in the next root. Can an olive take a dagesh? Why?
Would be it's a
Guttural.
guttural.
It's a guttural. And so we would see that this vowel would probably lengthen to a commits. Yep, if it was in the land.
Cool.
Great job. Okay, so all together, did that pull up? The kings which ruled in the land. I just put they so you can see that. Which ruled in a land. In a land. Did I put a? I did. I put a. Okay, great. All right. Now this is from Genesis 36. This is an actual Hebrew scripture. You just translated so phenomenally. Okay, let's go to this next one. Now, I want to preface this. I taught you guys that the normal word order for verbal sentences is usually verb, and then we have the subject, and then we have the object, right? But that's the rule, but rules can be broken. So there's always exceptions, okay? And this is a perfect example of an exception, okay? This is actually going to start with the object, okay? The object, and then we're having the verb, and then the subject. Okay, so you may see sentences that are not, the exact way that I've taught you, okay? Because they can show up different ways, but it is definitely more of the exception. You won't see it as often, okay? You're usually going to see verb and then subject and then object, okay? Okay, so we're going to actually start with the object, and it's hayil. This is a noun. Anyone remember what hayil means?
Rank. Well, army is what
Yes,
I wrote it
exactly.
and posted up here.
That's awesome. Put them on your walls. That's actually a great way to learn vocab. Yeah, put them all over your house and you can remember them. Okay, yeah, hayil, it's strength, wealth, or army. We're going to say wealth, okay? That's going to make some sense with this. So wealth, and then we have, let's actually read it. Hayil lo
No.
lachehu.
Lachehu.
Great.
Is it a chet or is it a chet?
Yeah, it's a chet. Lachehu. Sometimes that sound doesn't come through the Zoom. So I apologize if you couldn't hear it.
Okay.
Lachehu. Okay, so hayil, wealth, lo.
No.
What's lo? Okay, yeah, no or not. Okay, wealth, not. And then here's the verb with the subject. Lakach is to take. And then we have this suffix right here. How would you translate this word?
They took.
They took.
So-
But this low
Yeah.
is negating that. Okay, so they did not take. So wealth, not they took. That's literally what it says. Now we're going to have to rearrange it to make proper English. And we could say something like, they did not take wealth. Okay. They did not take wealth. Does that make sense? Everyone see that? Okay, great. Let's go to this one now. Okay. This is the verb yashab. Let's read this first. This is yashavnu.
Yeshavnu. Yeshavnu.
Be Mitzrayim.
That's right.
That's right.
Great job. So this is the verb yashav, and this means to dwell or to sit. Okay. And this is that new suffix that we learned, new. Okay. How would we translate this?
We sat.
We sat or we dwelt. Okay. And then we have be Mitzrayim. Who wants to translate this? We have the be, which is a preposition.
Is it in
Mitzrayim.
Egypt?
Yes, exactly. Well done. In Egypt. So this would be we dwelt in Egypt. Okay. Any questions with this? Okay. You all are doing fantastic. Okay, let's see. What time is it? Because we might be able to have a little bit. Oh, we do.
1:34.
Okay. We're going to go practice a few more parsing, and then we're going to jump into Joshua 4. Okay. Or maybe we'll do this first and then see how much time we have and do it at the end. Let's do that. Because I want to make sure I do get through this, but I think we'll probably have time to do some more parsing. Okay, so Joshua 4, we're going to look at the word karat, and we're going to look at the story with the parting of the Jordan River. And this was also one of the chapters that we studied last week in Come Follow Me. And so if you studied it, you will probably know the context of what this story is about. But if not, that's okay, because we're gonna be talking about it. So there's something in here that's really, really fascinating. I think you're going to enjoy seeing the Hebrew word and what the meaning is behind it, and to see what the Lord is really trying to show us. So we're going to first start with Genesis, actually, to give us some context. This is Genesis 15, verse 18. And this verse is when the Lord is making a covenant with Abraham. This is one of the beginnings of the Abrahamic covenant. And we're going to see see what the Lord is promising Abraham in this verse, okay? So let's start right here, and you guys can probably translate quite a lot of this, which is very, very exciting, okay? So let's start right here and repeat at home if you'd like to practice with your reading. Bayom
Bayom.
Hahu.
Hahu.
So let's first translate these two. We have that preposition bet with yom,
Today.
day, and then we have hahu. This is a demonstrative.
He.
It is he. Yes, it is he. But the other two translations that who can be he, it, or that. And it's going to be that. So in the day, the that. That's what it literally says. In the day, the that. And how would we translate that?
In that day.
In that day. So there it is. So in that day. And then here's our first verb, karat. Now, karat means to cut. Okay, that's what it means. And we see that it does not have a suffix. How would we translate karat right here?
He
Cut.
He cut. Okay, we're going to find out who the he is right here with the subject, Adonai. So in that day, the Lord cut. And then here we go. Et Avram Barit.
With
Try that at home. Et Avram Barit.
With
Okay, so this is going to be with, okay? This is with Abraham, a covenant. So in that day, the Lord cut with Abraham a covenant. In the scriptures, anytime that the Lord is making a covenant with someone, it's going to use this word karat. You don't make a covenant, you cut a covenant. And this goes back actually to this very time in Genesis because the Lord tells Abraham to cut in half these animals and he puts them on one side and the other side, and the Lord walks through with Abraham as he's making this covenant with him. And there's a lot of symbolism involved in this, but the covenants are cut. They're not made, they're cut. And sometimes in the translation, it will say they cut a covenant, but oftentimes it will just say made a covenant. And if you don't know the Hebrew, you don't know that this really is the word karat, meaning to cut. Okay, so in that day, the Lord cut with Abraham a covenant. And then this lemor,
Lemor.
and that means to say. Okay, this is the lamed with amar. Okay, and this is in a different tense, to say or saying. Okay, so the Lord said, okay, as he's making this covenant with Abraham, le zaracha. Right. And this is an inseparable preposition lamed, which is what?
2.
Exactly, 2 or 4. And then we have zara, that's seed. And then this is a pronominal suffix. We haven't learned these yet. You, okay, or your, it's your, like your seed, to your seed. Okay, and we'll learn that later. So he's cutting a covenant saying to your seed, this is what the Lord is saying, to your seed. And then here's a verb, and this is natan, a noon tav noon. Okay, natan means to give, but noon is weak. And we've seen that with mean, it's going to fall off if there's anything attached to it, and that's what's happening. The noon has fallen off, so you're only going to see those 2 root letters, and then this is the suffix t. So how would we translate this? Natati.
I gave. Okay. Or I give.
I gave. Yeah, I gave. Okay, or I have given. That would make more sense with this. The Lord is saying, I have given. Okay, I have given et haaretz.
Something the land.
Land.
Yeah, the land. I have given the land hazot.
This land?
Yes, exactly. I have given this land. So it's the land, this. We would translate it as this land, just like what up here, right up here. So to your seed, I have given this land. And then we have minahar.
River.
Yeah, and this is the preposition mean. Okay,
From.
that noon has dropped off and became a dagesh right there. Nahar is river. So it's from the river, Mitzrayim.
Egypt.
Yep, from the river of Egypt. Ad hanahar. Ad is until, okay, or as far as, okay. Hanahar. Nahar is rivers. How would you translate that?
River.
The river?
Yeah, the river. And then here's an adjective that's going to go with the river. Ha gadol. Gadol is great, yep, or large or big. So this is the great river. Okay. And then Nahar Perat, river Euphrates. So in that day, the Lord cut a covenant with Abraham saying, to your seed, I have given this land from the river of Egypt until the great river, the river Euphrates. So he's designating a specific part of the land, and part of the Abrahamic covenant is land. It's property. Okay. And this is happening hundreds of years before we're going to get to Joshua here. Okay. So now we understand this is part of the Abrahamic covenant. And now Joshua is a prophet. Moses has been translated, and Joshua is now the leader and the prophet of the Israelites, and they are ready and about to enter into the promised land. They have been wandering for 40 years in the wilderness, and they're finally able to go there. And if you remember this, they have the Ark of the Covenant, and the priests are holding the Ark of the Covenant, and they step into the River Jordan because they have to pass over the River Jordan to get to the land, the promised land. And if you remember, they step in, and then the water parts. And they walk through on dry ground, just like the Red Sea. It's fantastic, right? And as long as the priests are holding the ark and they're standing in the river water is parted and everyone goes through on dry ground, okay? And the Lord, after this happens, he tells Joshua to do something, and we're going to find out what he tells them to do, and then we're going to look at this really awesome verse, okay? So when all the nation had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, take 12 men from the people, from each tribe a man. Okay, so one man from each of the tribe, and command them, saying, take 12 stones from here out of the midst of the Jordan, from the very place where the priest's feet stood firmly. Okay, while they're standing in the river, and bring them over with you and lay them down in the place where you lodged tonight. Then Joshua called 12 men from the people of Israel, whom he had appointed, a man from each tribe. And Joshua said to them, pass on before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take up each of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the people. So they each are carrying a stone. There's going to be 12 stones, that this may be a sign among you. So they're going to set up a memorial, okay, and with these stones to remind them of this great miracle of the parting of the Jordan River, okay? And then it says, when your children ask in time to come, right, when this is past, what do these stones mean to you? And this is what we're going to look at, because this is what the Lord is going to say. This is what I need you to teach your children. And this is super important, okay? And these words matter. This is what I want you to teach your children about this experience and what these stones represent. These even, right? These avanim, even is stone, avanim, what these stones represent. So let's go and figure this out, okay? The amarten. Okay, this is one of those new suffixes that we just learned today. Amar means to say, and tem, who wants to translate this? The amartem.
You all said.
Masculine, plural.
Yes, exactly. And you said, yep. And this is going to be, and you will say to them, this is going to be kind of future tense, and there's a reason why it is. Okay, we haven't learned that rule yet. Okay, and you will say to them, lahem. This is to them. Okay, this is preposition to them. Asher nikratu. Okay, that. Well, let's do nikratu meimei hayeraden. That the waters were cut. The waters of the Jordan were cut. Mi penei Aaron barit Adonai. From the face of the ark of the covenant of the Lord. So the ark was in the water and the waters were cut. Now here it is. This is the verb karat. We saw that. And this is actually not a call form. Okay, this is a different stem we haven't learned yet, but it has the same perfect suffix. Okay, all the stems have the same suffixes in the perfect tense. And so we learned this one today. If you were just to see this without that noon, how would you translate karatu?
They cut.
They cut?
Yeah, they cut, exactly. But this isn't a different stem. So they were cut, okay? And we're talking about the waters. The waters were cut from the face of the ark of the covenant of the Lord. In Bet Avaron, okay, in its going or passing over, Bat Yarden, in the Jordan, and it repeats it, Nikratu, Maim HaYarden. The waters of Jordan were cut. And they will be, okay, ha'avanim. So the stones will be ha'ele, these, and these stones will be le zikaron, for a memorial. This is from the verb zakar, to remember. And this is the noun zekaron, okay, meaning a memorial, something that is a physical thing to help you remember something, okay? For a memorial, livanei Israel, for the children of Israel, ad olam, until forever. So you will say to them that the waters of the Jordan were cut from the face of the ark of the covenant of the Lord. In its passing over in the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut. And these stones will be for a memorial for the children of Israel forever. When it talks about the parting of the Red Sea, it uses the word baka, bet kof he. Baka meaning to part or to divide or to split. Okay, that's what it means. And it's a great word to use in the parting of the Red Sea. They did not use this word here. And there's a reason why the Lord did not use this word here and why he's wanting them to tell their children that the waters were not just parted, the waters were cut. Why do you think that this word karat is being used here?
Because they're entering the covenant land of Father Abraham.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Christina. The Lord wants them to know that this is part of the covenant. This land was promised to Abraham and his seed hundreds and hundreds of years before the Israelites ever crossed over and received this land. And the Lord wanted them to know that this is covenant. This is covenant language, and what was happening right here and his promise and his miracle here was because he keeps his promises and that the covenant would be fulfilled. And he wanted to make sure that they saw that. And so the waters were cut because that's covenant. So it then ends with this. And then you shall let your children know Israel passed over this Jordan on dry ground, so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty. This word right here, hazak, mighty. And that you may fear the Lord your God forever. Yirah. We talked about Yirah and the meaning of Yirah, to stand in awe, to reverence, to show great reverence and awe. And this memorial, those stones were to remind them that the Lord is mighty to save and that he keeps his promises and that we can worship him and fear him, right? We can yirah, which is such a beautiful, beautiful meaning there of the Lord forever. And so my testimony to you is that the Lord always keeps his promises. Let us keep ours with him, because there is great power and miracles and deliverance in the covenant power, in the covenants being kept and fulfilled. And I say that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Any comments about this? Anything that stands out to you, what you like about it?
I just love that he had all 12 tribes pick a stone, because in my mind it says not one tribe was left out. Like he's like all 12 tribes, every single one of them, they are all included. No one gets left behind. No one gets forgotten in the Lord's covenants.
I love that. What a beautiful insight. Thank you. Love it. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy that. And I hope you know how neat that is to be able to see the word karat, that's covenant language that's used in covenant, to see the Lord's miracles and his reminder of what that is. Okay. We have a few minutes left, like I thought we would. So we're going to spend just a little bit more time with parsing, but does anyone have any questions or any last comments? Let me know. I'm going to, one second. I'm going to open up the learning tool again. And we're just going to go practice parsing a few more of these perfect suffixes. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's start at the beginning again. And Jen, why don't you take us through this word? This is amar, to say, and it has that top with the little dangly earrings, right? The little schwa vowel.
So it would be call perfect, second person feminine singular.
Exactly.
Would be you said.
You said. Great job.
Rebecca, can you also say the words for us?
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay.
I do better when I hear them and see them. So
Yes, this is a mart.
uh-huh.
Again, both of these schwas are silent. So it's a mart, a mart. Yep, a mart. Okay, this one is a marten, a martem. Okay, so this is amar again. This is to say, and it has the tem suffix. Amartem. Michelle, why
Yeah.
don't you parse this one for us?
Sure, that is a call perfect second person masculine plural. So that is you, as in you all said or say.
Perfect. Yep. Great job, Michelle. Okay, now this one also is Amar, and I will say it. It's Amarten. Amarten. And this means to say as well. Okay, Corinne, why don't you take this one?
Oh, sure. It's call perfect second person feminine plural. So you said.
You said exactly in the plural. Perfect job. Okay, Christina, this is well, this all right, this is one of the weak verbs. Okay, this is a hollow verb. I don't think we've learned hollow verbs. I don't think we have. Okay, this is a hollow verb. Okay, actually, I haven't taught you that yet. We're not going to do hollow verbs. It's just going to be too much explaining. So we're going to do this one. This is bahar, to ally oneself. That's a long definition of that. But let's just look at the end right here. That's a tav with a kametz. Okay,
Okay.
how would you parse
So
this?
it's call perfect second person masculine singular, and it would be you masculine aligned yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, allied yourself. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Great job. Um, this one, let's see. Okay, we'll do this one. So, Lori, this is halak, meaning to go or walk, and this does not have a suffix to it. How would you to parse that?
So it's qual perfect, third person masculine singular. So it would be he walked.
Perfect. Yep, exactly. Now, when you guys are going through this, you may find some words that you can't like see the three root letters. Okay. Now you can always go to the root or the definition to be able to see them. If you don't see all three root letters, know that those are weak verbs and we haven't talked about them yet. Okay. But you can still parse them even if you don't understand what's going on with those roots. Okay. This is the word bosh, okay? And it still has that new ending, the noon and the shurik there. So you still can parse this as a call perfect first common plural, okay? Even though all three letters are not there because it's weak, okay? So you can skip them or you can just look at them and still try to figure it out, okay? So I don't want you to get too worked up or confused because we haven't talked about weak verbs because weak verbs do all sorts of different things. Usually they lose a letter or a letter turns to something else, okay? Okay, now let's look at this one. Craig, this is halak as well. And actually, and Craig, if you want to skip, since I know you're not feeling well.
No, I'm okay.
Okay, this is a halak 10.
Yep. So qual perfect second feminine plural, and you walked or
Perfect. Yep, exactly. Great job, Craig. Okay, we're gonna do one more round, okay? So Jen, this is Zakart. Zakart. And this is Zakar. To remember, this was the same root that we saw for a memorial. Okay, this is Zakar to remember. Okay, go ahead.
So call perfect second person feminine singular. It would be you remembered.
Well done. Exactly. Okay, this one, if you get to this one, this is a mistake. It's missing a shurik there, okay? Okay, let's do this one, Michelle. This is yada, to know, and it has that shurik vowel at the end.
So that would be a call perfect third person common plural. So that would be they know.
Yeah, or they knew. Exactly. They knew.
That would be to pronounce that would be Yadaru.
Yeah,
Is that
yadeu.
Yada?
Yadeu. And then this schwa is pronounced yadeu. I think I will teach you guys about vocal and non-vocal schwa rules. I think you would enjoy it actually. Maybe we'll do that next week. Would you guys like to learn about when to say the schwa and whatnot?
Because
Okay.
I keep trying to pronounce them and everything, so it'd be nice to know when. So
Let's do it.
Or not, because that.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll spend like half the class next week and learn the rules of schwa. I think it's chapter 6 or somewhere around there. So, and maybe let's find out. You guys could read it. Oh, it is. Yep, it's chapter 6. Okay, we'll do that. That'll be fun. Okay. Corinne, are we on you?
Oh, again? Yep. Oh, not paying
Well,
attention.
did you already have a second turn?
I did. Oh, do a second turn.
you need a second turn.
She
Oh,
is
okay, you do.
turn. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I'm like,
here we go.
I'm
This
today.
is yedatem.
Okay, good.
Yedatem.
How perfect, second masculine, plural. You knew.
Perfect. Great job. Okay, this is yatsa, meaning to go out, and it has that hey ending. Go ahead, Christina.
Okay, so I would say it's called perfect third person feminine singular. She went out.
Perfect. Yep, exactly. And then the last one here, this is also yatsa, to go out, and it has that new ending. Craig, if you'd like to take this one.
Yeah, so third qual perfect, third common, plural, and so they went out.
Okay, close. So the shurik is a third common plural, but the
Oh, I'm
noon
sorry.
with the shurik, yeah,
I missed the noon. So yeah, it's first person common plural.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that would be we went out.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, we went out. Okay, everyone, great job. Go through, spend a few minutes in the learning tool this week to really help you start memorizing all of these suffixes. And next week, we will talk about how to pronounce the schwa. You're going to love it. And then we'll just see how long that will take and then move on possibly. So we'll look at that. That'll be fun. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. Any last questions or comments before we go? Okay, everyone have a great week. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you all.